was under continuous bombardment as if it was raining across the skies. Sheikh Tamim said after that they realized that there is no death, no one can die except in that specific second pre-decreed by the Lord of the worlds, period. And taking daunting risks does not bring the appointed time closer, nor does safety and security distance death. This is a very important statement to understand. We have many examples. We have like Khalid bin Walid fought many battles, but yet he died on his deathbed. He will be in the midst of the battles. You wouldn't expect some man in the midst of the battle to survive. But subhanallah, Khalid bin Walid survived. And even one of the shuyukh as well, in the Bosnian war, he was giving a lecture to the Mujahideen, and he's saying the pure Muslim, the pure Muwahhid, knows that death can take him at any time. And subhanallah, it's true. When you're in the battlefield, it doesn't increase your death, nor does it decrease your death, because whenever Allah decides for you to die, whenever He has written for you to die, you will die. It doesn't matter where you are. And the best place to die is on the battlefield. Continues, this is something he read in Fatawa of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. He didn't read it in Al-Majmu' of An-Nawawi, nor in the Hashiyah of Ibn Abadin, nor in the books of Ibn al-Qayyim. He read this from someone, Ibn Taymiyyah, a man whose veins were being burnt, his soul was being pulverized underneath torpedoes of this day. Meaning the Shaykh is comparing Ibn Taymiyyah to those other Imams, because Ibn Taymiyyah was unique in comparison to those mentioned. And indeed Ibn Taymiyyah is of those Imams who were waged jihad against the kuffar, and was imprisoned and expelled and suffered much at the hands of the enemies of Allah, unlike the other Imams mentioned. And because of this, Ibn Taymiyyah's words contain such wisdoms and hidden beauties which other scholars who did not go through the similar hardships and sufferings, their words did not contain such wisdoms. So Shaykh Abdullah Azam is demonstrating this point of how with jihad, hardships and sufferings in the path of Allah, the wisdoms of this deen and its treasures of knowledge are bestowed upon the mujahid. This was demonstrated by Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, narrated from Imam Abdullah Ibn al-Mubarak and Imam Ahmad Ibn Hanbal, that they said, if the people disagree regarding anything, then look at what the mujahideen say, since the truth is with them. Because Allah says, as for those who wage jihad in us for our cause, we'll surely guide them to our paths. Surah Al-Ankabut 69, referred to Majmu' Al-Fatawa, volume 28, page 442. The Aqeedah of Tawhid, of fearlessness of death and provisions. You find a person living a normal life if it was said to him the intelligence agents come by your house. He and Allah knows best will become paralyzed, the bloke. If you told him I saw the CIA agents standing at the door of your house, that's all it takes. For an entire week he won't be able to sleep or rest. Even if he misses Salat al-Fajr for even 7 days, he can't fear Allah the way he fears a saying, I saw an agent in front of your home. How can you not fear Allah and you fear a man, a CIA agent? Well, let him put you in prison. Our Prophet Yusuf was put in prison. Inshallah, you'll be away from all the fitna in prison. You have your own. I can't remember, but Ibn Taymiyyah, he says a saying like, paradise is in my heart. So if the people kill me, I'll meet my Lord. If they imprison me, I'll have a meeting with my Lord. And if they expel me, I'll make hijrah for the sake of Allah. So why does this man feed the agents? Because he is afraid for his sustenance, or that his appointed time of death will come. Is there any other reason? Not at all. It's either fear of death or fear of losing sustenance. So this notion in the minds of mankind has become the petrifying ghost which pounces upon them in their beds, causing them to never shut their eyelids. But if you do not fear for your sustenance in your life, you want to be afraid of them either. Like if it was said to you now, the Russian intelligence is vexed at you, would it affect you? Even African intelligence will make you afraid, because there are ways for them to reach your home in Egypt, Algeria, Sudan, etc. So you will still be afraid. So jihad is what we see as the only solution for this disease of these nations of fear of the agents, fear of the appointed time, fear of loss of provisions. The most valuable thing which a human possesses is the soul, the ruh. And when you place the soul upon your palm, begging Allah to take it day and night to purify it, if you accept it, becoming sad if the Lord of the worlds does not choose it, then after that, what could you ever fear other than Allah? Abdullah Azam, he mentions or poem, says, when a young man becomes habituated to dividing into the fatal fields, then the easiest thing he passes by is mud. Someone is exposed to death every day. Will mud affect him? The least bothering thing he passes by is mud. So Tawhid, and it's being settled inside the soul of the human. You have now known that it cannot be brought up inside the soul, meaning it cannot become rooted firmly inside the soul except by jihad. Yes, jihad, the forgotten obligation of today. And inshallah we'll have many topics about jihad, and we'll explain from many books written by many of the shuyukh about jihad, and maybe some fiqh about it, its obligation, and so on and so forth. And as a basic rule, much of the knowledge of this deen cannot be grasped except by jihad. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah At-Tawbah, verse 122, of every troop of them, a party only should go forth, so that they may gain understanding in the deen, and that they may warn their people when they return to them, so that they may beware of evil. The word they in the part, so that they may gain, is referring to going forth to gain understanding of the deen. So scholars went to the other opinion and said that no, the party which sits behind, that is the one which gains understanding in the deen. But the opinion which was taken as more authentic by Ibn Abbas and At-Tabari and Sayyid Qutb is that the troop which goes forth in the path of Allah, that is the one who gains understanding of the deen, and that is the one which realizes its hidden beauties in deen, reveals its pearls to him. And subhanallah, you find Abdullah Azam and Tamim al-Adnani, you find many books and many videos and many stories of mujahideen witnessing karamas, miracles on the battlefield. When do you ever see a miracle in a normal living life? You go to school, come back home, pray at the mosque, the same thing every day. You hardly anyone witness a miracle. Or is dua being more accepted? And stuff like that. Subhanallah, in the battlefield, imagine in the battlefield, Allah is showing you some beautiful miracles. Like Abdullah Azam talks about one of the mujahideen, he died and he could smell his musk from 500 meters away. Subhanallah. When do you ever smell musk out of this world and from 500 meters away from that body? And there's heaps and heaps of miracles about mujahideen. There's heaps of lectures. There's, I think under the shades of the swords, it talks about the Bosnian mujahideen. It talks about some of the miracles and dreams about them and so on. There's another book by Abdullah Azam, it's called The Sons of Ar-Rahman in Afghanistan. It talks about the miracles in the Prophets and Companions' day, and he talks about the miracles of the mujahideen. SubhanAllah. Sayyid Qutb, may Allah have mercy on him, said, verily this deen does not reveal its hidden beauties to a cold sitting person, a faqih, who does not struggle to establish this deen upon this earth. This deen is not a cake which you can refrigerate in your brain. Rather, this deen is only understood through struggling to return it into the sphere of life and building its society once more. It's his deen, you will not grasp it except according to what you give for its sake. Give for its sake, then it will give you the rule of give and take. Sacrifice, and then the Lord of the worlds will open the doors for you. put forth sacrifice for this deen, Allah will teach you His ayat and ahadith as a basic rule. You will not be able to understand many verses except when it is a reality you are going through, a reality of jihad. Like example, Allah might talk about reliance upon Him. When do people only rely upon Him? When they need something, when they want something, when they feel a hardship. Other times they forget Him. It happens. Subhanallah. We're not, even me, I'm not the best of persons as well. But we have to rely upon Allah. And the most severe circumstances where you rely upon Allah so much is when you're fearing death, when you want Allah to